The Apple MacBook is no doubt an effortless piece of technology. It's absolute perfection, which almost leaves us wondering how the big tech company manages to pull it off. Where's Apple's flagship laptop exactly made? How's Apple managing the manufacturing process? We'll go into the details of the MacBook in today's guide, so join us on our journey into the factory and stay tuned for more. The MacBook is one of the sweetest pieces of technology ever, with a sleek design that remains unmatched. Most of the Macs are manufactured in China, then shipped all over the world. Apple's decision to outsource to China is largely because China's always been known for churning out more products in a short period of time. Now, something to point out here is that MacBooks are designed in Cupertino, but the manufacturing happens in China. Manufacturing the MacBook obviously requires the utmost care, and it seems like Apple has entrusted the task to Foxconn, one of its supply chains in China. Foxconn is a Taiwanese-based supplier. According to reports, Apple isn't the only customer of Foxconn. The company is one of the largest private employers in mainland China, providing jobs to more than 1.4 million workers. It manufactures computers, communication, and consumer products for world-renowned brands. But the company declined to name its clients publicly. It got more and more unwanted attention in a Pulitzer Prize-winning investigation that focused on the factory's working conditions. But we'll discuss that another time. The company employs hundreds of thousands of anonymous Apple workers who assemble MacBooks. Back in 2012, Foxconn gave a tour of the thriving manufacturing facility located in Shenzhen, in the South China province of Guangdong. Apple is most famously known for making iPads and MacBooks here. A special assistant to the CEO escorted the reporters to portray a picture of workers being treated well and with care. But the reporters weren't allowed to observe the factory floor. Anyway, the factory owns a 1.4-mile square complex that houses more than 140 employees and speaks to Shenzhen's identity as a global manufacturing hub. The city was once just a fishing village in the Pearl River Delta region and was designated a special economic zone back in the 1980s. The population has now grown from 30,000 to more than 10 million as the workers from the rural regions of the country started to migrate to the fast-growing city, which is declared as a city of opportunity. The nondescript white factory buildings are not far from Foxconn's entrance. The factory is enclosed by walls from all sides, giving it an institution-like feeling. Foxconn also provides its workers with dorms. The rooms feature 4 metal bunk beds, mosquito netting, a desk, and storage underneath, and handfuls of garments hung from a makeshift closet. The facility also features an outdoor track with bleachers, and in the tour video, we caught a glimpse of people relaxing on trimmed grass. There were also 5 pools elsewhere in the facility. The facility housed a gaming facility where a handful of individuals played PC games in a darkened internet cafe, illuminated by neon lights. These are pretty great facilities for the younger employees and interns aged 18 to 25. The facility also housed private cubicles for workers to relax in silence. The Chinese manufacturing site has been performing well, but like all American companies, Apple doesn't like depending on China. So, last year it was revealed that Apple would be shifting some of its operations to Vietnam. According to the plans revealed, the factory was set to be constructed in the northern Vietnamese province of Bac Giang. Foxconn apparently invested $1.5 billion in the project, with future investments of $700 million in work. The factory was going to employ 10,000 people and was going to churn out 8 million laptops. However, back in August of last year, Apple pulled a pause on the entire thing owing to the pandemic. Hopefully, it'll pick up the pace soon. In recent years, Apple has also come out with the MacBook Pro, which is 15,000 times faster than its predecessor. Back when the Pro version of the MacBook was about to be launched, Apple set up a base in Austin, Texas. The tech company reportedly invested $200 million to build the facility. It's a massive site that expands over 3 million square feet. The MacBook Pro is in fact the only of Apple's products with major production in the US. It's in line with Apple's plans to invest $350 billion in the country's economy by 2023. The MacBook Pro travels 1,000 feet along the production line. Workers are spaced at regular intervals. We've also got some robots handling the workstation. Each of them is tasked with a particular aspect of the production process. It's demanding work since some of the steps require the highest precision. A difference as small as the width of a human hair can seriously mess things up. The factory has managed to employ over 15,000 workers to build the MacBook Pro. Apple enlisted the services of 9,000 suppliers from over 50 states. Moreover, the laptop has components from over 19 states, including Arizona, Colorado, Florida, California, Idaho, and Illinois. The computer processors are shipped from Oregon and Arizona, whereas the graphics processors are brought in from New York. They've also got electrical components coming in from Pennsylvania, Texas, and Maine. What's interesting is that Apple has been adhering to environmental laws since the factory is UL Zero Waste to Landfill Gold certified. With the production scale so huge, most companies mostly neglect this bit. But not Apple. It's even been appreciated by Austin Water for excellence in water conservation and excellence in environmental stewardship. Apple's efforts to preserve the environment while building the site are also appreciated here. They've partnered up with Austin-based Bartlett tree experts for this matter. More than 60% of the site is just landscape. Apple's mostly doing this just to avoid another situation where one of their factories in China was shut down for violating the Chinese pollution laws a couple of years back. Kudos for the effort though. With that said, the Austin factory is in better condition compared to the ones over in China. However, it's worth noting here that the US-made MacBooks are only available for U.S. residents. For international clients, Apple has opted to base the design process in the Texas factory while assembly is outsourced to China. Back in 2019, it was revealed that Apple signed a contract with Quantum Computer for assembling in a factory located near Shanghai. But before Apple could go through with the deal, the company pulled the plug on the entire thing, keeping the operations at home. Now let's move on to the machining of the Apple products. The entire process requires meticulous care, which is why Apple has enlisted the help of both human workers and robotics. It all starts with raw aluminum, which is preferred due to its favorable strength-to-weight ratio and its flexibility in processing and finishing. The extruded aluminum sheets are cut into blocks and undergo separate milling operations. The aluminum undergoes precise CNC milling to cut holes for the keyboards. They mill out the thumb scope to provide recession to open the display lid without putting too much pressure on the lid. Once the inside is precisely cut using laser and CNC machining, it leaves a design on the inside and the outside. Both the materials from the machined aluminum blocks are then collected and recycled. It's noteworthy that the new MacBooks are the industry's greenest MacBooks to date. It's also worth mentioning that the machining here offers precision which is completely unheard of in the industry. A portion of the front edge is milled thin enough for a laser to be able to micro-perforate the metal and allow light from the sleep indicator to seep through. This process is not new. Apple has already used it to make MacBook Airs and their Bluetooth keyboard which shipped last fall alongside the aluminum-based chassis Mac. The entire MacBook line does its best to meet Energy Star for repeat Gold and Rose environmental standards. It leads the industry to eliminate toxic chemicals by containing no brominated flame retardants. The line also uses PVC-free internal cables and components and energy-efficient LED backlit displays free from mercury and arsenic. Overall, Apple's factories for the MacBook have been fine-tuned to maximum performance. Apple is well known throughout the world for the production of its CNC lasered aluminum chassis wide trackpad and properly spaced keyboard. Join us next time to know more about the behind-the-scenes at the manufacturing and development process of many other world-renowned Apple products. Until then.